Welcome to This Explainer. Let's jump right in. Today, we're zeroing in on the coffee sold inside MUJI stores to uncover a seriously important marketing lesson. You should never, ever judge a product strictly by the standalone revenue it generates. Because honestly, sometimes the smallest, cheapest item you sell is the hidden engine driving your entire business.
Okay, let's dive into this. If you visit certain MUJI locations over in Japan, you'll find this self-service coffee that you can grab for just 100 yen a cup, but is incredibly cheap. But, seeing that really makes you ask one central question. Why? Seriously, how much profit can MUJI really squeeze out of a single 100 yen cup of coffee? Let's just look at the basic math for a second. If a MUJI store sells 100 cups of this coffee in a single day, the total sales revenue is just 10,000 yen. On paper, that looks like a completely terrible strategy. I mean, 10,000 yen barely justifies taking up the floor space, buying the machines, and paying for the effort to maintain them. If their only goal was to profit strictly from selling coffee, this wouldn't make any sense at all. But from a marketing perspective, there's a much bigger idea at play here, and here's the core lesson we need to focus on. Don't evaluate a product only by its own sales. MUJI's objective here isn't simply to sell a hot beverage. It's actually all about what that 100 yen coffee accomplishes for the rest of the business. So the crucial point we need to talk about is dwell time. In the retail world, dwell time is simply the amount of time a customer actually stays inside a physical store. Just imagine a customer buys that super cheap cup of coffee and decides to take a short, say, 10-minute break right there inside the store. Well, those extra 10 minutes, they create a massive opportunity. Let's walk through the exact physical journey of a hypothetical shopper. Step 1, that incredibly low price makes it an easy yes, so they go ahead and buy the coffee. Step 2, they take a little break, which naturally increases their dwell time. Step 3, while they're relaxing, they start looking around. Maybe they browse through some clothing, check out the stationery, household goods, or flip through a book. And that leads directly to Step 4, the impulse purchase. The coffee is literally just a traffic builder. It lowers the barrier to entry and creates these great organic opportunities for product discovery. Picture this highly relatable scenario. You walk into MUJI with the strict, absolute intention of spending exactly 100 yen on a quick coffee. But right on your way to the machine, a seasonal bamkuchen catches your eye. Okay, that's 180 yen. Then you remember you actually need dinner tonight. So you grab some retort curry. That's another 350 yen. Oh, and hey, a new notebook would be nice. 370 yen. Suddenly, your 100 yen intention has effortlessly morphed into a 1,000 yen basket. That tiny cheap coffee was basically a Trojan horse for a much larger transaction. But of course, good marketing requires actually testing your hypotheses with real data. And the data totally backs this up. Let's say non-coffee users spend an average of 1,800 yen per visit. But the customers who do use the coffee service, the ones who increase their dwell time, they spend an average of 2,500 yen. That higher average transaction value is exactly the reason why the coffee exists in the first place. Now, if you were a marketing manager trying to prove to your boss that this strategy isn't just a fun gimmick, you track some very specific key performance indicators. You wouldn't just sit there counting coffee sales. No, you'd measure the average dwell time, the purchase conversions before and after the coffee service was introduced, and the attachment rate, like exactly how often people buy that Baumkuchen along with their drink. You would watch carefully to see how this single, simple amenity lifts the entire store's overall performance. Let's zoom out a bit to the wider brand experience and look at one specific location. MUJI Grand Front Osaka. They didn't just stop at pouring a 100 yen cup. Back in 2023, they introduced actual in-store coffee roasting, where you could buy fresh beans by weight. Then, during a renewal in 2025, they went ahead and added store-exclusive ice cream flavors. Now, why add ice cream? Well, because if you only sell coffee, people who don't drink it, like kids, for example, have absolutely no reason to use that space. By bringing in ice cream and snacks, it makes it so much easier for families and groups of friends to actually enjoy the space together. The food and beverage service basically becomes the content that makes the whole store way more enjoyable. And this brilliantly illustrates a powerful concept we call experiential marketing. When MUJI started roasting beans right there in the store, the coffee itself became a true product experience. Unlike a standard packaged good where you just have to read the box and kind of guess if you'll actually like it, drinking the coffee is essentially a live product sample. The sequence is so clear. First, you experience the taste, which builds your confidence in the product, and then that leads directly to you buying a bag of beans to take home. You see, MUJI operates on this genuinely brilliant philosophy. The entire time a customer spends in the store becomes part of the value. They aren't just selling a bunch of disconnected items. They're proposing an entire thoughtful and simple way of living. And having coffee right there in the store acts as this physical, inviting entry point to help customers actually experience that lifestyle in real time. This entire strategy highlights a truly massive shift in modern retail. Think about traditional retail. A store was simply a place to buy. You went in, grabbed what you needed, and you got out. But today, e-commerce and Amazon make buying perfectly efficient from the palm of your hand. So for physical stores to survive, they absolutely must adapt. They have to transition from merely being a place that sells products into being a place where customers actually want to spend their time.
The way physical stores can actually win this battle is through what we can call the 5-sense advantage. A screen cannot reproduce the rich smell of fresh coffee. It can't let you feel the exact texture of a piece of clothing or hear perfectly curated in-store music. An app just can't give you a warm, helpful conversation with knowledgeable staff or replicate that spontaneous joy of unexpected product discovery while you're strolling down an aisle. Allowing customers to enjoy this non-selling time is actually vital for building those long-term memories and relationships with your brand.
However, we do have to acknowledge the harsh business reality here. Longer dwell time is not automatically perfect. In business, we always need to ask if an idea ultimately contributes to the bottom line. And this strategy, it definitely has hidden costs. Customers might occupy a seat for an hour without buying anything else. The store could get overcrowded and hard to navigate. Plus, you have to shell out money for coffee machines, maintenance, electricity, cleaning, and of course, employee labor. The golden rule here is that the extra gross profit generated from those impulse add-on purchases absolutely must outweigh the cost of running the service.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. When you're thinking about the future of physical retail, or really the future of any business, simply asking, what should we sell, just isn't enough anymore. The store of the future sells time. So I challenge you, don't just ask how you can sell more products. Ask yourself, how can you make your customers actually want to spend more time with you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.